Hello dear viewer, I'm leesusss and welcome back to Car Mechanics Simulator 2018. Last time I embarrassed myself, or the game embarrassed me by saying that I was trying to rip off the customer for some bizarre reason. Well, we're going to forget about that, that never happened. What we're going to do this time is we're going to do the other form of standard mission, which is the story mission. Okay, so in case I mentioned before, that one of the key things about the story missions is recurring characters. Sometimes a lot more parts than the standard repair. Sometimes the standard repairs are they're just a few bits and pieces, like a few brake pads to change. But the other key thing is, be quiet phone, you've got to always repair with 100% parts, brand new parts every time. Okay, at least the ones that are broken here. So we have here, to work out who this character is. Hello, it's me again. My last purchase was not as great as I've hoped for, but this time I found a true gem for my wife. Those internet auctions are a treasure trove of great used cars. Plus I did everything couch potato style. From my couch. I haven't seen the car yet. But judging from the pictures, I don't believe it. It needs a lot of work. The car is coming straight to your garage. That's the most sensible thing you've done. Please check the oil and make sure any necessary repairs. Yeah, the oil is the least of the problems here, from what we can see of this stream here. I think this guy before was was being harangued and cuckolded by his wife, being useless at cars, which I can understand because I don't know anything much about cars at all, really, which I'm happy to admit. Everyone's got their own expertise areas. If I need to do I need an expert for something, I'll go to an actual expert, such as a mechanic. Unfortunately, now we're stuck with gameplaying me to do this for this chap. So let's see. For a start, that engine looks very rusty. Well, it's the whole engine block. But we'll do some basic tests, shall we? First of all, I've got to remember to zoom in because I haven't played for a while. We'll do the basic tools. We'll do the... how new is the car? Let's do the onboard doodah, which is now the official name for that. Onboard doodah, what do you say? It says the thing's knackered. The cat's okay. Spark plugs are okay. Some of the spark plugs are ruined, and some of the ignition coils, which go on top of the spark plugs, well, they're not, they go near the spark plugs, are a problem. I told you didn't know anything about cars. It's the distributor cables that they go from the distributor cap to the spark plugs, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. These things up here, these are the ignition coils. They need to come out, but before we're finished, let's play with the other meters. Let's play the electronic meter, and we'll guess how many bits are gone. We can see that the drive shaft looks pretty shoddy under there as well. We can see a lot of things. Radiator might be knackered. Most of this is actually okay. Saying that, the radiator is okay. What else have we got? We've got full pressure test to see if it only really checks the fuel tank and the fuel pump. It's a bit of a waste. I'm annoyed by this one. I think it's a bit of a waste. Okay, I guess it picks up the fuel rails as well. These are things that are very easy to test. It's kind of a crappy test system. And then the last one, be quiet phone, stop beeping at me, what is the last one? Compression tester, which looks at your pistons and that gubbins. Although, by the way, I have noticed that, oh my god, the engine block is knackered. Oh no, this is a really big one. Oh, you know what this means? Well, we're going to have fun with it. Well, maybe you'll have fun watching it. I don't know. How many of the parts do we have now? We don't have them all. Let's get it on. Well, you can see it's going to be a good example for seeing the other bits of the car. I guess the jobs I've had so far, the story mode jobs, have been moderately easy. So this is getting nastier. As far as the sort of work we're going to have to do. This is pretty big payout for this one. It looks nice on the outside, doesn't it? Panels look pretty good. Yeah, it's rotten. It's rotten inside, I can tell you that much. This is a rotten, shoddy car. This guy's been ripped off on an auction. Yeah, I thought when I first saw it that there was one lady who had a very fancy premium sports saloon, all in pink, and I thought it was that for a second, but it's not that one. First of all, we're gonna have to do this. We're gonna put this under here. This is the oil drain. If you don't do this, then as soon as you start really taking the engine apart, you're going to be making a mess everywhere, and you have to do a bit of a clean-up cost. Put that back. Yeah, put it back. Put it back, I said. Let's have a little look under here. That isn't going to deter us very much. Look at the whole engine block is, technical term, it's shagged, is what it is. We are going to have a little look under here. So parts of the suspension might be knackered, but it doesn't actually look that bad. The cross members and things around here. So I think maybe the brakes are the rest of the things that are broken. Or there's going to be other parts of the car we haven't checked, like the oil pan, for example. This looks pretty broken on here. But you know what we're going to have to do? Take the bloody engine out, mate. That's what we're going to have to do. Take the old sodding engine out. That's what I've got to do, bruv. Right, here we go. Let's get this thing over here to this one here. There we go. I thought I wouldn't have to do this sort of nonsense until doing renovating a car, but apparently we're going to do it early because why not? So, an engine crane. I'm going to take the gearbox off first, have I? Fine, we'll do that first. And that means taking the drive shaft off as well, and the drive shaft is also balked, isn't it? It is. But we can order these as we go, so we know we need to get them, which is a good way of doing it. So what's is this? I think there's only one sort of drive shaft in these cars, rear-wheel drive. The exhaust looks okay, which is kind of alright, I guess. Drive shaft. Let's just get that, shall we? Back to here. Drive shaft. There's only one. Good. Buy it. $600. Let's get this gearbox off, which is the main body of it rather than the internals. Don't do this to me, game. I'm not in the mood. This is why I turned the zoom off. No, I want the... Oh. That's an interesting looking gearbox. Oh, well this is kind of different and interesting. I like this. Never done this before. Usually the gearbox pops straight off, but the fact it's a four-wheel drive, I'm presuming, like a four-wheel drive sports car? Like, it's not really a sports car, it's a saloon. Why is this four-wheel drive? I mean, the only thing I know that's like a bit like this that's a four-wheel drive, or all-wheel drive rather, I'm not really sure the difference, is Subarus. I used to drive a Subaru a long time ago. It's the most bizarre car. It's not the sort of thing you get in carpools normally. But there you go, I love that car, because it was great in the... I say in the cold weather you're probably going to laugh at, because Britain, not the worst weather in the world. Well, apart from the scorching heat weather. But occasionally you do get really bad... and snow, and of course the main thing about really bad snow and ice in Britain is we're not used to it, so it's a freaking disaster when it happens. And I used to have a Subaru, and I had no excuse not for going to work, so I guess I was doing myself a mischief, wasn't I, really? But take the drive shaft out. Drive shaft is actually okay. Now what needs to come out? What's in the way? Is it the bloody starter? It's always the freaking starter, isn't it, eh? Oh. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm figuring that the gearbox won't come out. Well, I know the gearbox won't come out just because you've got all-wheel drive, therefore you've got to take the front drive shaft out. I thought just rear-wheel drive, all I need to do is take the drive shaft out. That's not true. Oh, I've got to get back up again! So yeah, so in case you're wondering, what we have to do here, apart from making this bloody lift go up and down like a yo-yo, is we need to rebuild the whole damn engine. I'm wondering how much this engine is actually salvageable. Possibly not very much. So it's all okay. So what I'm currently planning on doing, I'm going to yank this engine out. Now you're just taking the pee. Right, can I do it from... Sometimes you can only get the exhaust section out I hate this car already. The colour and everything about it. So as you're going to get the front exhaust section out if the cowl is taken off the thing for it, but it's okay. That's not so bad. Can I take it out now, pretty please? If that's okay with you, but I've never worked on this sort of car before. That's part of my problem. We're learning together, isn't that nice? Yank. It doesn't. Unfortunately, it doesn't animate onto here, but it will animate onto here. Hold on a second. Put engine on. I've got remains a bunch of engines, just pieces here. These are just the smallest amounts of engine left here. Right. I think a few things possibly are salvageable. So what I was thinking, yeah, what I was going to do was I was going to strip all the bits off and see what could be kept, and then rebuild it from scratch. But I'm almost at the point here where there's so little to recover. Just make a damn new engine, but not quite. There's enough here to make it worthwhile. So before we do anything else, the most important thing to do here is just double check about the engine. So looking at the car doesn't quite give you all the data you need about what's in, unless I'm looking at it the wrong way. Maybe I'm missing something about the engine. I4 direct overhead cam, I think that means 4x4. To make the engine again, multiple engines share the same engine block. So I've got to make sure I get the right engine block at the start. So we're going to do that now. It is just under that. And I want the whole block. So let's just put block in. And it will show us all the varieties we can have. So I presume it's this one, but I don't actually know. Now we should get, if I do the test, if I do the review on this, which one is it? Are you going to tell me what it is? I did the compression tester. Okay, let's do something else. I don't want to balls this up from the start. Engine block I4B. Okay, that's what I wanted to check. It wasn't just an I4, it was an I4B. Okay, that one there. Right, we've got one ready to go now. Now I'm going to strip this down, which is a massive pain in the bum. What was I going to say? I don't even know what I'm going to say. I've lost the wheel now. These are all shagged, by the way. This cover actually might be okay. Let's have a look. 52. Yeah, there's going to be a very small number of parts on this that are going to be worth it. Timing cover probably will be okay. We'll have to see on here. But even this, like the rollers here. Actually, the roller's okay. But what we have to do, once we've stripped all this off, what we then have to do is start building the engine from scratch. And what we do at the start is we say which engine we're going to build, and then the car automatically suggests which parts to put on there. So it's not so much of a puzzle, it's going to give me a complete headache. But it's still pretty bad. And I'll show you for why on some of these things here. Belt tensioner off, yeah. Then the belt will come off. And then the various rollers will come off. But these aren't too bad. There's a lot of parts here. It's an engine. It's not too surprising there's a lot of parts. It's some of the... phone, stop buzzing me, okay? I've got no time to do anything else apart from this job right now. Throttle comes off. It's some of the internal parts that can be on here. And also taking the cam pieces out. This is probably okay, actually. So we're going to have a slow rebuild, because I'm basically going to check every single part as I go. What's your problem? Have I not taken the cam gear off? What do you need to come off now? Oh, the timing cover. Okay. Also knackered. And every part that I come to, what I'll do is I will try to... I'll try to put on one of the existing parts that I have, because again I might have some parts in my storage I can use, but I doubt it. These camshafts are knackered. No. What do I need to do now then? Oh, okay. I've got the I've got the engines turned, isn't it? You know, but otherwise I'll have to buy new parts. It's going to be quite slow. I won't put you through all of that. But it's kind of painful. So what slows you down here is you have to zoom in on a part. I know I can take this off, game. Stop being silly. And then take one each one off from here. Eesh. So I think we're going to have to do some sort of time lapse here, I think. Yeah, we're going to... Time's going to fly by as I suddenly rip this engine apart and then reassemble it. It's okay though, because this is the part of the game that is... This is what's... Apart from that noise, this is what's zen about the game. That you can just sit here and slowly take all the pieces apart. Listen to some nice music in the background. Yeah, it's still a podcast though, maybe. But listen to the news. The news is depressing. And, you know, just have a bit of fun. And that, I think, is it. That's all the parts. Now, the engines don't quite fully come apart. Things like the dipstick and stuff don't come out as far as I know. I've never been able to get that to come off, despite the fact it was in things like Tank Mechanics Simulator. Can't do that much. So now, take the engine off the crate. That goes into our inventory. And if we just look here, here it is. It's sort of left. You know, the cap, the oil cap, whatever this bolt does here, the block, and then the thing I just said a minute ago, the dipstick, the head of the dipstick. Anyway, I don't know why it says 77% because it's a state. You know what exactly is 77% on here? I don't know. Can we actually get that little bolt off? Where is that little bolt? That's what I want to know. I don't even know where it is. No idea. It's a mystery. Doesn't matter. It's probably something really important. Let's get this thing off of here. And then we're going to build an engine. Now, what we're going to do here, it was an i4 four-wheel drive, wasn't it? What's AQC? I don't know. I don't know all my acronyms. Where is it? That one, isn't it? And then... No, don't turn it, you idiot. No. I need to put the... One second. I need to click on the imaginary engine and start putting bits on there. What do you mean there's no i4 Block B? I just bought one. See, this is what gets me angry. Okay, give me a second. You know what? I think I still managed to buy the wrong one. I'm sure I clicked on this, but according to that, I've only got that in there. So I guess I did it wrong. Oh well, at some point I'm going to build an engine. It's not like I haven't got a lot of money. But that quite annoys me. Stupidity. It's been a long day. There we go. It's on there. So now we just start finding all the bits and pieces. For example, this. So immediately we see we haven't got it. But what you can do, what I found is it makes it a lot easier generally. If we can do this, you can do i4, and we should be able to do i4B. Now, on these sort of engines, not everything will be called i4B. Some of the parts of the engine might just be called i4, and you'll get them both come up. But the point is that you can check each time and then hopefully get the right one. What was I after again? Was it the? I think it was the power steering pump, wasn't it? I think. Yeah, bet one of those. So now that's on there, we can more easily come back and put that on there. No, I need the turbo. is what I got the wrong one. I still need the other bits and pieces, but that's what I need to do. Where's the turbo? There it is, and we need the alternator as well. Really? Just a general alternator, is it? Well, we'll put our general alternator in then, shall we? See, this is where I'm in a quandary that I should have checked more carefully, because it could be that I took off. See, this is why I should have to save maximum money. I should have taken careful notes about what was broken or not, because this is possibly off of the original car and was okay, but I suspect it isn't. There were only a small number of parts that were actually okay, but you know, when I've got two choices like that, that's where the confusion comes in. You know, again, water pump. I could save money by you know, putting this one on and checking out later if it's a problem or not. I might just do that, actually. Who knows? But you know, you could be make yourself more work later. Idler roll A, probably okay. Crankshaft, power steering pump. Yeah, I'm just going to do it, and I'll have to deal with it later if I have to take all these parts back off again. Again, I could also do something like this. I could check the... No. Can I check it on here? No, I have to look at the actual car to do it. If I can check on the list here, it will tell me what I've missed. I've only missed a couple of parts here, actually. A couple of parts not discovered. These are probably brakes. I've got to replace the tyres as well. Okay, I can do that. Yes, there might be some other bits on here, like fuel pump and stuff that I've... But so far it's not complaining, so I think everything's okay. Actually, where's the engine block? Shouldn't the engine block have a... Oh, I guess it wouldn't be completed yet, because it's not back in the car, is it? Oh, whatever. You can do a lot of this, by the way, inside the car. But it's just easier over here. By the way, things that I won't skimp on are come on, give me the thing. Give me the item. Are things like the pistons, because you do not want to take the engine apart again. Just to get the just to save a bit of money on those. It's not really worth it. So I think one spark plug's okay, then I need to replace the others. No, exhaust manifold. I4B. That. One of those. We get some sparks. We'll get a spare one. Doesn't actually matter. They're easy enough to replace anyway if we need to. Put those in there. This engine's actually not that bad compared to some of them. Some of them have got some very fiddly parts to deal with, and this is not that bad.